To find yourself, think for yourself. Socrates, the father of Greek philosophy. Once again, 80s or 90s reference, Socrates. It is pretty important to, as secular society likes to say, find yourself. Think for yourself. Do it for yourself. As the Western traditions have become more steeped with individualism. There's definitely a sense of individualistic tendencies through our culture, the American side of it. Europeans definitely have it in a sense too, and the rest of the world kind of more collectivist leaning. But as for it being something that could be used backwards, I can see that too. But to have a collectivist mindset, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just prefer an individualistic mindset as was set forward by a philosopher like Socrates. And the Greek traditions, the Hellenic traditions or Hellenistic traditions go towards more of an individual value-based system than a collectivist-based system. Because we all have seen what collectivism can do throughout history, more so than individualism. However, it could be argued that neither one is good, and one's a quicker death to doom than individualism being a slower death to doom. As far as traditionalist values, not really having a substantive culture or any kind of traditionalist things, or traditionalistic parts of culture being honored or revered. So there is that, and I mean that makes sense. That definitely is a good argument that helps philosophy continue its path, which philosophy has a natural path to go towards a a more conservative and more rationalistic approach. Definitely has become more pragmatic in the West than I. Well, there's some philosophies that are out there that are just kind of strange and new agey and doesn't pertain to a very good, well, that's a subjective term, a very concrete value system. So it's a lot easier to adhere these kind of philosophical sayings to a to a concrete value structure like a religion, a moral code, or something something that is geared towards the individual rather than a collective group, and then having that adhered to the collectivist group helps with individuals making it up. In a sense, I just described a republic rather than a democracy, as well, a lot of politicians nowadays want to classify what we live in as being a democracy, which is not necessarily the case. But anyway, this is one of those things that has also been said in a movie, a not very Gnostic movie, Know Thyself. That is The Matrix, when the Oracle tells Neo to find himself. That is, to know and to find are two different things. Obviously, they're both Greek words. The one I know correctly is gnosis, and that's to know. And the the cis or the cis that's added onto like synthesis, theosis. There's other kinds of things that the cis that be well, that's an add-on to the word, which is the Greek word for C would be Greek word for C. That's not what I was looking for. So there's it might be for knowledge. So I'm gonna have to look that up later. But anyway, that is to know, to see. We say that a lot in our culture. We say, I know, I see, which is goes hand in hand with knowledge and seeing that knowledge. So it's revealed. And that relates to itself both in secular life and Christianity. And then other religions probably use it too. And that is one of those things where to find yourself is to think for yourself in many aspects, in many parts of life, and that will just pay dividends down the road.